Most of the time when I do an interview, my wife says scoop, but when I said I'm doing one with Meg Whitman this morning, she was like, "That's a pretty big get." I feel accomplished, like my wife knows who I'm talking to today. Why become the CEO of Quibi? You're not hurting for anything. Why jump back and run a brand new company?
Well, great question, and thank you for having me this morning. Listen, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I love to create and build new things. And my partner, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and I had this idea. He really had the idea and brought me into it very early. And we said, we think this is something new, something different. And we also said, there's a long history in entertainment of new technology enabling new ways to tell stories. Think of it, the motion picture camera existed before motion pictures. The television technology was developed before the TV industry. And we figured that if we could make a fantastic technology platform that made watching video on your mobile like watching the movies in that full screen video, whether you held your phone portrait to landscape, this could unleash a whole new form of storytelling. So we decided to sort of bring together Jeffrey's expertise in media, my expertise in tech, and try to see if we could do something new. So we started in August of 2018 and built the company, commissioned the content, built the tech platform, and then we launched on April 6th.
What's it been like? Because we've launched in this new normal during the pandemic. What's it been like having a captive audience basically for your brand new product?
Yeah. Well, listen, we had to first decide, was it the right thing to do to launch, into this in very unusual, different set of circumstances? And we ultimately decided the following. We were not first responders, we're not medical professionals, but we are entertainers. And we thought if we could bring a bit of joy and levity and distraction to people who are, now quarantined at home in most places around the country, maybe that's how we could, help people get through their days. So we decided to go, and we've been super pleased. And people are using it, 7 in the morning till 7 at night. As it turns out, there's all these in between moments when you're at home, in between work calls, in between wrangling the kids, in between, making sure that everything runs smoothly. And so we've been really pleased, really pleased.
You mentioned you're not first responders, but one of the things that I think entertainment does is help takes your mind away from the events of the world. And you have a pretty interesting lineup of creators and people behind some of these shows. You have everybody from Chrissy Teigen, you have John Legend, you have Megan Rapinoe, you have a show called Murder House Flip. How in the heck did you guys come up with all of these ideas?
Well, we have a terrific creative team, and what we do is commission content from all of our studio partners and creators. And someone came up with this idea of, house flipping is a thing now, and there were houses where a murder had taken place that were now up for sale. And there were just some really interesting, funny, scary stories. And so we thought, this is different. No one's ever done this before. Let's try it out. And it's actually now in trending today. It's one of our trending shows, which means it's either the most watched or it's moving up fast. But we have more traditional movies like The Most Dangerous Game with Liam Hemsworth and Christoph Waltz, which is a thriller. We have, as you point out, the Daily Essentials, where we have news and sports and weather and talk shows that is really designed everything you need to know and why it matters in 6 to 8 minutes for your day. And we've got comedies. We have Flipped, which is another actually house flipping show with Will Forte and Caitlin Olsen. And then we have some fantastic documentaries. Fierce Queens with Reese Witherspoon, and LeBron James has done a documentary on his school in Akron, Ohio, that is designed to really take low-income third and fourth graders and surround them with all the tools they need to be successful. And it's a remarkable, remarkable story.
You mentioned that you had some celebrities. One of the shows I think is very interesting that I think probably is needed during this time is you have a show called Thanks a Million. Explain that one to me.
Yes, you're right. It's one of our trending shows as well. So this show was brought to us by Jennifer Lopez and her production company. And she said, you know what I want to do? I want to give $100,000 to someone who made a difference in my life, whether it was a coach or a mentor, or a nurse, or someone who really changed the trajectory of my life. But on the proviso that that person take half of it, or $50,000, and give it to someone who did the same for them. And so she did the first one, and then she's got a whole host of stars, Alec Rodriguez, as you might imagine, Carly Kloss, all who find someone in their life who made a difference, and they show up unannounced to give them this $100,000 on the proviso that they take half and give it to someone that did the same for them. And it is a heartwarming story. It will make you cry. It's one of our most watched and most beloved stories. And it's a feel good story in a time when I think you're right. We all of us need a little bit of that.
Now I'm gonna put myself in this situation because there are two shows that I know my family is interested in. My wife is a big soccer fan. So when I told her Megan Rapinoe had a show, how did you guys score that? How did you pull that off? And what was the thinking behind having Megan Rapinoe host a show about maybe some lesser known athletes?
Yeah. So this is it's called Prodigy, and it's about young athletes who are now at the top of their sport, even though they're very young. And this came to us from a production company. We loved the idea. All of us are big admirers of Megan Rapinoe and what she's done. She's become iconic in the world of women's sports, and we thought it was an interesting angle on sports because not not everyone goes in and literally talks to those younger prodigies and how they became the stars at 13 or 15 or 14 or whatever. And so we love the stories. And what we try to do around content is find stories that are unique, that maybe haven't been told before or told from a different angle. And we were super excited that she decided to do the show with Quibi because many of our actors, actresses, production partners, writers, they have a choice of who to do their show with. And increasingly, they're excited about Quibi because it's a new way to tell their story on the mobile device, which is, they think, the screen of the future. Everyone has their mobile with them all the time. And they loved the technology platform of being able to see that full screen landscape and full screen portrait. It's almost like having a little movie theater in your hand when you watch Quibi. So we were thrilled that she decided to do this with us, and we're really pleased with the show that she's done.
Well, Meg, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm actually excited about Quibi, and my wife is uh, bothering me, pestering me, and wanting to know how this interview is going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and go and talk to her. You have a great rest of your day.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a great day.